So good afternoon, everybody. Today we're here with Kathy Higgins from Insight to Drive, and thank you so much, Kathy, for joining me here. I would just love for you to begin with a bit about your company and how you got started.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Anna. But I run a driving school, a multi-car driving school. We've got 17 instructors. We obviously teach learner drivers, but our main focus, if you like, our expertise is instructor training. So we train driving instructors. I'm also a published author, so I've written a book called An Insight to Drive, which is the word two rather than the number two. So it's just a play on words from the driving school, really. We started, I started in the driving instructor industry 25 years ago, give or take. And it was just because I used to be a sales rep. I used to travel the whole of the Northwest, North Wales, selling veterinary medicines for my sins. Loved the driving aspect of the job, hated the targets aspect of the job, because no matter how much you sold, your target for the following month was going to be that and a bit extra. So there was no end game, if you like. And I thought, well, you know what, I want to work for myself. And one day I went into the office and the boss came in with a brand new car. Now I obviously didn't know any sort of business skills back then. And I thought, gosh, there's something wrong with this picture. I'm working really hard and the boss gets a new car. You know, what's going on? So then I decided I wanted to work for myself, and I just needed to look at where my skill set was, what I enjoyed doing, and then built a business from that. So that was the source of start, really.
Amazing. And it sounds like that's the kind of ideal thing. I feel like I've spoken to a couple of business owners, and it's always a mixture of obviously financial, professional, but personal. And it seems like you had a combination of those factors coming in there
Yeah.
for you. And in terms of owning a business, or the idea of owning a business before growing up, did you ever think that this is something that you'd want to do, or do you have any inspiration?
Probably not. No, probably not, because my whole looking back at what I used to do from when I was 16 until I came into the driving instructor industry when I was 30 something. It was mostly working for other people, and I was quite happy doing that. I worked in, you know, a cheese counter in the market when I was 16. That started off. And then I signed up to a temping agency. So I've temped in a lot of places, and every single place that I've worked in, I've gained a skill or a piece of knowledge that actually I use now in my own business. So I think, you know, all that background stuff that I did do has amounted to me being able to run a successful business single-handedly, you may as well say.
Incredible. That's amazing. And I would like to continue on with, in terms of building a successful business by yourself, what has been the most challenging thing for you?
I think initially the most challenging thing when we look at the business side of things is my own internal feeling of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a feeling of being taken seriously. Being a woman in a very male orientated business, being from Liverpool with quite a, you know, a good Scouse accent, shall we say. It was a struggle for me internally, trying to be taken seriously. And I even had a conversation with somebody once, and they asked me, does your Scouse accent hold you up in business? Now, I thought that was really, really bad, but I was so taken aback. I didn't really respond, but people around me did, and it became
Wow.
a big thing. So it's that really part of it, I think, the most challenging. And also, as time has gone on, I think the most challenging thing is being able to deal with people who, for some reason, make their own mind up about things and decide you're a horrible person. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not really here to help you or really want, you know, so if I'm training somebody to be a driving instructor, I really do want to help them. I really want to, and I run the school in such a way as that once somebody qualifies, if they decide they're ready to go on their own, we will help them do that. We don't expect everybody to stay within the school, but we will give them the skills and help them do that. But then you get the odd person who sneaks off behind and does all sorts of things in the background, tells you loads of lies, and then goes off on their own and won't speak to you. And I think that's really hard to handle, really hard. So that, I think that's the most thing, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, challenges with personnel and management, team and staffing, I definitely say they're one of the more popular answers whenever I
Oh,
ask
thanks.
the question, for sure. But is there any particular way that you've learned to handle this? Is there any advice that you'd give to anybody maybe in a similar position, of ways that you've discovered that really helps to deal with something like that?
I think if I was going to give advice to somebody else on how to deal with it, is to look closely at what's happening. Don't assume everybody's happy with how you are dealing with them, or how you're not dealing with them. Just speak to people and find out firsthand what is going wrong and try your best to fix it. But it's kind of human nature to succumb to peer-to-peer learning rather than learning from the people that know what they're talking about. And when you get this peer-to-peer thing going on, suddenly they're all talking and doing things, and you think, well, just come to me and ask me, I've got the answer, sort of thing. So it's really sort of listening to your people and connecting with them regularly. I think that's the thing. Don't assume that they're all happy with everything and they're going to come to you with an issue. Ask them first, make sure they are okay, and then you can deal with things much better.
Absolutely, communication is key.
Mm.
I'm curious to hear about your journey throughout the pandemic. Obviously, I, for example, was taking driving lessons, and obviously with the still point we had to wear masks and things. I thought it was very strange because we were already in an enclosed environment.
Mm.
Of course, rules are rules. But in terms of the pandemic and kind of all the protocol and things that you had to deal with, talk us a little bit through that.
And well, for me, being the driving school owner, it was fairly tough because I'm employed by the driving school, so I put myself on furlough, and that was more or less the best I could do, really. But I stopped all our franchise payments. I didn't tell the instructors that they would have to pay that back. I completely stopped them. So we, as a driving school, we suffered a lot, but morally that was the only thing I could do, really. Some driving schools said to the instructors, well, we'll pause your payments, but those instructors still owed that money back. And initially, if I'm honest, I thought we were going to be locked down for a couple of weeks, 4 weeks maybe at the most. I had no idea it was going to take that long. So we did struggle, and it was a challenge. But when we went back the first time, because I think we got let out, didn't we, and then locked back up again in Liverpool. We went out the first time and got them all a nice little pack with masks and hand sanitizers, gloves, sweets, all kinds of things, as a little sort of back to work pack. So we just tried to keep it as upbeat as we could. I just thought, well, I'm quite lucky because I've got another business that I run as well, and that sort of kept the wolf from the door. But the driving school, being a limited company, did kind of suffer. But we're bouncing back, so we've made it through. And you think, well, if we can get through that, we can get through anything.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, no, amazing. Thank you for sharing. In terms of looking to the future now, where do you see Insight to Drive going? What are your goals for the company?
The goals for the company really is just keep going from strength to strength. We've never wanted to be the biggest company, driving instructor training or teacher. We just want to be the best, and it's just striving. And I've got some fantastic instructors working with us at the moment, some fantastic instructors on the training team, and it is going from strength to strength. It's really just keeping that going. And the focus really is to, and this is why I wrote the book, is to educate people, educate members of the public that actually all driving instructors are not created equal. And there's a lot of things in our industry which simply shortchange people, and things that still go on that should not be happening. So in the book, I talk about changing instructors, because some people will pay for 10 lessons, for example, and feel they've got to carry on with them 10 lessons no matter what. And there's still underhanded things happening in our industry. It shouldn't be happening, and it's one of my things where I really want to stamp out these instructors that don't treat their customers correctly, or cross boundaries which should never be crossed. So the reason I wrote the book was I was fed up hearing lots of stories about instructors doing this, doing that, and the other, and people just getting shortchanged and they don't realise it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've heard stories myself. My, friends, family members have had to change driving instructors. You always have to build that relationship of trust with somebody and kind of
Yeah,
suss them out whilst also concentrating on the road. And I feel like that's quite hard, specifically when you're a young person. And I'm not saying, every single person learning to drive is a young person. Obviously, there's variety, but majority of people are, under a specific age. And I feel that feeling safe and comfortable and trusting the person that is, you're learning from is very
yeah.
important. So it's great to hear that you've written a book about all of those things. Where can people find that book? Do you have a website, a link?
Well, it is on the Insight to Drive website, but it's also on Amazon, on Kindle and paperback. So you can purchase the book on there as well. And I did a straw poll on social media, and 70% of people that answered that poll did not know how to tell the driving instructor was legal or not. And that is fairly scary, because as a legal driving instructor, we have to undergo an enhanced DBS check that shows up everything. But if you're an illegal driving instructor, because you can just get a roof sign and some dual controls fitted and a few bits, and if you don't know what to look for to find out whether that instructor's legal or not, then who knows. That to me is really scary.
Yeah, are you able to share with us a couple of things for I'm in particular interested in just general advice for young people, looking to get their first driving instructor, to get on the roads, to be safe. What advice would you give to them when looking for a new driving instructor?
I would advise people to do some taster lessons with different instructors first, to find out which one they gel with. Don't just go with the driving instructor that's taught your friend to drive because they were a good laugh. Look for one that is going to suit your learning style and one that will adapt to their teaching style to you. Also look for their driving instructor's license, and this is all detailed in the book, because if they do not display their license when they are giving lessons for money, then it's £1,000 fine for the driving instructor. So there should be no reason that license is not on show. So it's a green square. It's about yay big green square sort of thing, with hexagon on it, or a pink square with a triangle on it, and it will have the instructor's photograph, their number, the school that they're with, the details and everything, and an expiry date as well. And that should be clearly visible from the inside of the car.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Kathy. I really appreciate it. I'm
You're
sure
most
that
welcome.
a lot of young people are going to benefit from that knowledge. And yep, it's great that you've shared that book. I hope a lot of people will purchase it and look into it more and kind of realize the things that the people need to look out for. But just before we close, where can people find you? So where are you active on social media?
I'm personally, Insight to Drive is active on social media. If you just look for Insight to Drive, I personally don't go on social media much. I don't really know why, I just don't. But the book, I've got a special offer for your readers, because the book is $18.99 on Amazon, including postage, and I'm offering your readers the book for $10.99, including package and posting. So it'll be $10.99 for the book. So if you go to Insight, the number 2, insight2drive.co.uk, and look at the menu where it says buy the book, and it will be there, or you can just send me a message via the website and I will sort that out for them.
Amazing. Well, that's so generous. Thank you very much, Kathy. And again, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.